Yo, what's up, everyone? Back for this Thursday slate. We have a nice 10-game slate for today. Let's get right into it. Before we get started, I'd appreciate if you would drop a like and subscribe down below. Let's try to get over 100 likes on this video once again. And looking to get back on track after yesterday. It was our first down night since Friday. Just the picks weren't great. That happens in baseball. Kind of due for that, I guess. But looking to get right back on in the money on this slate. So let's get right into it. So like I said, you can drop a like and subscribe down below, and you can visit the website, links in description. So today at pitcher, we don't really have any top end pitching. Like we don't have a top 5 pitcher in baseball on this slate. Like Charlie Morton's been pitching really well. I don't mind him. Price tag is really up there at 11.3. But if you can fit him in, I don't mind him. Odorizzi's also great. I would much rather pay up for those two than pay for Montas here. But we have like 3 good pitchers. I think you can get by fading them in cash just because we have some nice hitting spots I want to go to. And we do have a couple of mid-range pitchers that I like quite a bit. I'm going to start off with Dylan Bundy facing a Seattle team that has kind of given up on the season. The trade of Encarnacion just kind of signals that they are, they have no chance to push for playoffs or anything. I mean, they're terrible on the season now. But they started off the hottest team in baseball this year, 13-2, were the Mariners, but they've fallen off a cliff. They strike out a ton, and Bundy can definitely rack up the strikeouts. Their power is obviously less on the lineup without Encarnacion, and Bundy this year has been really good with the strikeouts, 78 Ks in 75 innings. And he has been pitching really well as of late, and those are some tough matchups he's faced. He put up 27 in Cleveland, was solid against the Yankees with 13, put up 18.5 against the Astros, 17 against the Red Sox at home. So he's been pitching well, some tough matchups. This is a really good matchup here. Facing the Mariners, which strike out a ton. So he's faced a bunch of tough teams this year. As you see, lots of Yankees, lots of Twins. I think he's finally has a really nice spot, and I think he can capitalize. We know he has a ton of upside. And second pitcher I'm going to go with is going to be a little cheaper for Adam Wainwright here. He's only 7,500. He only missed one start, so he should still be good to go. Missed one start due to his IL stint, but he shouldn't be like on a pitch count or anything. He's gone very deep in a couple starts. I think you can expect at least like 85 to 95 pitches out of him. The price tag is pretty fair here at just 7,500. At home facing a righty-heavy Marlins team, and Wainwright has been tremendous against righties this year. He's gotten into a lot of trouble against lefties, and the Marlins just aren't a lefty-heavy team. They might have 2 lefties, or maybe even have just 1 lefty in the lineup, as they did against Flaherty the other day. But Wainwright, his splits are huge. 322 average given up to lefties with a 583 slugging. Righties are only hitting 215 against him with just a 333 slugging. He's also been great at home this year with a 2.31 ERA. On the road, he's gotten shelled, and the strikeout rate is much higher against righties, just a .63 home run per 9. Solid 24% K rate. I feel like it's a good spot here to target Adam Wainwright at home against a very bad and very righty-heavy Marlins team that strikes out quite a bit. So going pretty cheap at pitcher, going mid-range. We have a couple of superstars I want to pay up for. But going with some value here, second base, I like Kike Hernandez once again. Facing a lefty here in Madison Bumgarner. Kike Hernandez has kind of owned Bumgarner in his career, and the sample size is not even small. I'll show you the BVP for Hernandez. It's a 48 at-bat sample size. He is 24 for 48 with 4 home runs. Batting leadoff against Bumgarner, and Bumgarner has been not the same pitcher as he was in years past. Like, he's a little watered down, but he's still been pretty good this year. But I think Hernandez can capitalize here. I mean, he has awesome numbers against Bumgarner. He's seen him quite a bit, and with the sample size that big, I guess you kind of have to buy into some of that BVP. We know Kike is much, much better against lefties, where he bats leadoff. I'll just quickly go over the numbers again for those that aren't aware. But Hernandez, for his entire career, has been much better against lefties. Bumgarner, his struggles come against righties. And batting leadoff, he should see plenty of at-bats here for Hernandez. So career-wise, he is batting .265 career hitter versus lefties. Lots more power against lefties with a .222 ISO and a .487 slugging. Love the spot here for Kike Hernandez. At third base, gonna go really cheap. Get a guy that's a little too cheap, I think. That's Vlad Guerrero Jr. at just 3,500. He's been swinging a little better bat as of late. Like the last month, he's been good. He started off really bad. I just like the price tag on him quite a bit. 3,500 facing a lefty. Facing Suarez. Suarez has been decent for the Angels this year, but his advanced numbers signal some regression coming for Jose Suarez. He's given up some power, 3 home runs, one in each start, and he also doesn't go very deep, so the Blue Jays should be able to face the bullpen pretty early because he only goes about like 80 to 85 pitches. So to show you the numbers for Suarez, like the advanced numbers signal some regression coming for him. And a lefty facing Vlad Guerrero, nice lefty-righty split. Lefty-righty advantage for Guerrero in this one. And he's also dirt cheap at just 3,500. So he has a .429 slugging given up to righties, .257 average. It's a small sample size, only a couple starts for him, but righties have a 5.19 xFIP with just an 18% K rate, giving up some power, 2 home run per 9 so far this year. And I think a guy like Guerrero is really cheap. Can take him deep, maybe, or at least have a nice game against him. So I like him a lot at just 3,500. In the outfield, I'm going to go with Christian Yelich here, 5,900. Like the spot, really. I love the spot here against Tanner Roark. 5,900 for Yelich. He's expensive. I think that might lower some of his ownership. But I want to get him here when he's playing at home. He's been much, much better at home this year. And he's facing a guy in Tanner Roark who struggles all year. His entire career have come against lefties. And Yelich has just been amazing against righties. 368 batting average this year. 18 home runs. At home, he's been on fire. 438 average at home in Miller Park. With 19 of his 26 home runs are coming at home. And he is red hot right now in June. He has a crazy 443 average with 5 home runs already. Love the spot here for Christian Yelich. So much power. 411 ISO against righties. 779 slugging percentage. Only has a 13% K rate at home. Think he can do some real damage here against Tanner Roark, who has been much worse against lefties. This season and for his career, he's gotten rocked against lefties. This year, lefties have a 484 slugging against him. They're hitting 305. And he has a 6.38 xFIP against lefties. Really, really bad numbers there. I love the spot here for Yelich. And paying up for another superstar, Mike Trout. Killed me that I didn't have Trout yesterday where he went off. But he's just been really good as of late. Facing a guy in Clayton Richard who has not been good at all. The Angels' lineup is looking a lot scarier now that Justin Upton's hitting right in the heart of it. And Richard just hasn't been able to have much success, just hasn't been able to strike people out. And the Angels team doesn't strike out much as a whole, so I feel really good about a guy like Trout. 322 average given up for Richard against righties, 627 slugging. He just has a 12.7% K rate, and the xFIP is almost at 6 against righties. With the way the Angels have been swinging the bat, I love the spot here for Mike Trout. So those are the 6 players I like for this slate. Bundy, Wainwright, Kike, Guerrero, Trout, and Yelich. Still leaves you with $4,000 left to spend. I'm going to talk about some other stacks I like. Didn't really mention any of the Twins, but I love the Twin stack today, facing Sparkman and a bad Casey bullpen. So I would probably go in the outfield, start off with like a guy like Eddie Rosario at 48. I like Rosario. I like Nelson Cruz, Polanco, Sano. They're also dealing with some injuries. With Gonzalez is on the IL. Adrian's is on the IL, although he's a part-time player, and so is Byron Buxton. So you can get some great value from the Twins with a guy like Jake Cave at 3,600, or even a guy like If Arias is going to be in the lineup again like he was yesterday, he's really cheap. And I also like Crone quite a bit. Don't have a ton of interest in the Dodgers besides Kike just because he's really cheap, so I like him. This game, don't really have any interest in any bats. I like Bundy quite a bit from the Orioles side, and on the Baltimore side, just don't. I think we can do better than stacking this team on a slate like this. Here, no interest in the bats. You can go with the pitching. Talked about the Twins. I love the Twins. The Brewers, all the lefties are in play for me with Thames, Moustakas, Shaw is really cheap, and Yelich. Over here in the Mets and Cubs, we'll see how the weather is. It might be like a wind blowing in game, which the wind does affect the ball in Wrigley, so check back with the weather. If the wind's not going to be blowing in too much, then I kind of do like the Cubs quite a bit. And even some Mets against Chatwood, just because he gives up so many walks. And if they have a little bit of speed, I think they can take off. Like, Mets aren't a really heavy strolling base team, but a guy like Rosario has some speed at 4,000. I also don't mind Conforto, even though he's expensive. Here we have a guy making his debut from the Marlins, although he was really good in AAA, so I don't really want to pick on any of the Cardinals unless somebody's really cheap. Like, I don't mind Goldschmidt or Carpenter, but definitely not going to be stacking the Cardinals here unless you're playing a bunch of teams. Love the Angels, thinking go with the full stack. So go with the guys like Upton, Trout, Pujols. Maybe even get a couple lefties in there if you want to feel sneaky, especially for GPPs, because I don't expect Clay and Richard to last long in this game. So getting exposure to some of the lefties from the Angels makes sense because they should face some righties out of the bullpen if Richard only lasts a couple innings, which I expect. Not sure who the pitcher is going to be for the Nationals. I don't think it's going to be Voth, but if it is, Philly stack looks appealing. And last but not least, maybe look at a guy like Giancarlo Stanton, who's really cheap from the Yankees at 4,600, facing a lefty. We know what Stanton does against lefties. And all the Astros, I have interest in a couple of cheap guys like Altuve is really cheap at 3,800, and I don't mind Brantley at 41 and Alvarez at just 42. Those three kind of stick out. But that's it for the video. Those are the plays that I like, along with some other stacks. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and good luck today.